Hey guys, today is going to be for me, a very minimal or pared down makeup look. It's going to be all drugstore products and it's going to be perfect for any of you who are going back to school, whether it's high school, college, or if you're a mom or a working person and you just need a nice polished presentable look. In addition to using affordable makeup, drugstore makeup, I am going to be using all affordable brush options. So let's go ahead and get started with the look. So first up, you do want to prime your face because you're going to be wearing the makeup all day long, and a primer is just a few extra seconds that it takes to put on, and it really does make a huge difference in the longevity of your makeup. Not only that, but for me, a primer helps to have the makeup go on a lot smoother and a lot more flawlessly, slightly blurs any fine lines, and just makes it a whole lot better. So I never like to skip primer even if it is a really fast makeup application type day. But I'm going to be using one of my favorites from the drugstore, the Maybelline Master Prime Primer. This is in the Blur Plus Illuminate. This next step is totally optional, but I do want to just add it for anybody who wants all the help they can get in the morning. This is the Garnier BB Eye Perfector, Miracle Skin Perfector Daily Eye Roller. This just has really slight pigment. It's not going to cover up any wretched dark circles. I will go in with concealer under my eyes still, but it has that metal tip ball applicator, and it's just really soothing on the eyes, you know, in the morning. Anything you can do to, you know, help. It just feels good and soothing and just gives you a little extra something under there. It has a little bit of a peachy type tint to it, so it helps neutralize the under eyes, but it's very sheer, so if you have legit dark circles, it's not going to be enough for you probably. For concealer, I'm going to be using this as a complexion and under eye corrector, so I won't be using any other face product like a foundation or a BB cream. I find that a concealer provides enough coverage for me for an everyday type basic look, but feel free if you're not comfortable leaving or going out to school or work or whatever, you know, wearing just a concealer. Use what works for you. That's what it's all about. But I have the Maybelline Super Skin Corrector, or the Maybelline, come on, let's try that again. Super Stay Better Skin Concealer Plus Corrector, and I'm going to be using the shade Ivory. I'm just going to start by putting that under my eyes. I try to do it in thin layers just because that works the best for me. And then what I'm going to do is take a trick. It's called Rainbows on Roses and Whiskers on Kittens. So Rainbows on Roses, get it? And then Whiskers on Kittens, so just draw some kitty cat stripes. What this is going to do is it's going to add coverage to the most important parts of your face, or where most women get the most red, which is the center of the face. It will also kind of highlight there and basically be easier to blend out because you're starting more towards the center of the face and blending outward. I'm just going to be taking my Real Techniques contour brush and just kind of buffing that out. And it's really important too to have everything ready the night before, so you're not all fussy in the morning and you don't have stuff ready to go. Kind of have like a game plan of your makeup being set out, and if you need to clean any brushes or whatnot. You can definitely see how that just really slightly brought my complexion together, being one uniform color. And another optional step, but I'm all about that under eye brightness game. So I am going in with the Maybelline, the package wore off, but I think it's just called the Dream Lumi Touch highlighting concealer, and I have it in the shade Ivory, which was a mistake. I actually meant to buy it in the Radiant shade, which is like a peachy salmon color that does a really nice job of correcting under eye discoloration. It neutralizes it, but I accidentally bought this one, so I'm just trying to use it up, and I like it. It's nice, and I am just going to take my fingers with that because dabbing like in a stippling popcorn type motion instead of swiping back and forth is going to give you the best look. It's going to be the most pigment on there. You're going to get more bang for your buck product wise. It does take just a little bit longer, but it's totally worth it. You don't want to swipe. It's just going to swipe away the product. And then I'm just taking it up on my eyes to conceal and to prep them for a little bit of eyeshadow will do. Not too much eyeshadow, but you just want it to be cohesive and get rid of any veining and discoloration on the eyelid. You could totally use your fingers with that first concealer just to blend it in. I just prefer brushes just because I like to be fancy and because I have them and might as well demo them for you guys in videos and use them in real life. Another little trick, if you have any lines like brush strokes from the brush, which is that brush, the Real Techniques contour, is probably not like my ideal brush for all over buffing up foundation, but I want to try to keep it simple as possible because ain't nobody got time in the morning, right? But you can just take the warmth of your fingers and kind of just smooth over it and pat, and the warmth of your fingers will emulsify that product and blend it into the skin more. Okay, so now we want to set everything in place, otherwise we'll get creasing. If you're really dry, you don't have to set your whole face, just set under the eyes or where you need to. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match powder. This is in shade W1 Porcelain. It's the lightest warm shade, and I'm using the Real Techniques setting brush. This is such a great product because it's such a great setting product, and you can truly add so much product, like pack it on to really get it set in place, but it never looks cakey on me. It never looks cakey. Like, I could pack that crap on and it just doesn't look cakey, so that's awesome. So I will be using that to set my entire face with. Another trick too, if you ever have creasing up under there even after you set it with a powder, you know, sometimes you'll set and then you'll be okay, and then you'll maybe look in the rearview mirror of the car and you'll be like, oh my gosh, it's creasing, but I set it, like what's the situation? All you have to do is take the warmth of your finger and just really slightly smooth it out, and that should set it back in place for the entire day. And then to lightly set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using this brush, which I'll also be using for blush and bronzer, just to make it easier. This is the Equal Tools Taper Blush Brush, and I really like it for blush. I've never used it for powder before, but I mean, it's a brush. You can't really go wrong. And I don't know if I told you, but this powder doesn't add a ton of coverage or pigment. Actually, it doesn't really add hardly any extra coverage or pigment, but it's great for setting. And I like sweeping powder all over my entire eye area like that, because what I feel like it does is that it kind of goes on the lashes and acts as a lash primer to make my lashes look more like thick and voluminous. So that is the complexion so far, and it just looks evened out and it still looks like skin. It's a very natural look. I can still see some discoloration in my face because I'm not going for like a flawless full coverage look. That's just not what we're doing today. And you can see some of my freckles peeking out, and I'm just going to be going in the order that I would naturally do my makeup. So I'm going to work on my brows next. I always wait to do my brows till after, for the most part, unless I'm doing like a tutorial. I always like to do my face first because you saw going over it with powder, if I already did my brows, it'll make my brows look really ashy and powdery, which we don't want. So I just think brows are so important. You know, that's definitely a personal preference. Feel free to skip if you're not a fan or if you don't worry or care about them, but I do truly believe that they frame your face and actually make your features like come to life. With that being said, I'm gonna start by using this product, the Maybelline Brow Drama in Soft Brown. This is an interesting little type thing, and it is like a little ball tip. I saw it in a magazine that you want to kind of take it. It was like an ad in a magazine. You just want to take it back and forth, because I was only using this as a setting thing because it didn't have a lot of pigment or a lot of pigment that I prefer. I'm just kind of taking that back and forth, as you can see, and it is depositing some pigment and it's latching on to the hair a little bit. Next, I'm going to be moving back to my face. I'm going to be using this bronzer, which is one of my favorite bronzers from the drugstore, but also just in general. This is the Bronze Booster BB Beauty Balm bronzer. It looks like that, and it is in the color light to medium. Taking that same Equal Tools blush brush, and I'm just going to be bronzing up my face. You can skip this step, but because I'm pale, I need a little warmth added back, otherwise I look like I'm gonna die, or like I have already died. So I love vampires and the undead, but I don't want to look like one. So I just work it up into the hairline, and you can choose the steps that are important to you. If bronzer is not important, don't do it. I feel much better that I have some bronzer on. It's just such a beautiful bronzer for fair skin. It's just truly enhancing and flattering and not too much. and you can apply it pretty sloppily and pretty fastly, and you don't have to be too concerned about it. And then for blush, totally optional step as well, but because I love makeup, it's just a little extra step that I like to take. It only takes a few seconds for every step, so pick and choose what works for you, like is the moral of the story. But I'm going to be using the Maybelline Master Highlight by Face Studio, this one that is in the shade Nude, and it's just a really natural nude everyday type blush. And I like it because it's a highlighter in one, so it does offer a little bit of sheen. So you don't have to have a highlighter. If you like the highlighted look and you're short for time, this does the trick. See the sheen? So pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna move to the eyes. Next step is eyeshadow. I'm not gonna be using actual eyeshadow. Totally optional step. But I'm gonna be taking a highlighting product because I will go back and highlight my face even though I already have a highlighting blush on. But I love a highlight. I'm dry, so I'm all about that glow. So I'm going to be using this first as an eyeshadow. This is the L'Oreal True Match Powder Glow Illuminator in the shade Cool 302 Ice. These have had really mixed reviews since they came out recently, and I actually don't mind them. I'm actually just going to take that Real Techniques setting brush that I used before and just pick up product from all of the colors, and then I'm just going to take it and sweep it across my entire eyelid area. It's just going to add a little bit of lightness and brightness, which is what I like. Really fast with that larger brush, plus means one less brush you have to use. And this product does have sparkle in it, so if you don't love that, you won't like it. It is a tad bit chunky as well, but I don't mind it. And I feel like a good highlight at the drugstore is hard to come by. So I'm going to go ahead and just highlight the rest of my face with that at this time. Going back to that Physicians Formula bronzer, and I'm taking this dual-ended brush by Equal Tools. This is actually, it comes in a set, so you essentially get 4 brushes. I believe it's $5.99. So I'm going to be using the one that is kind of like a crease brush in the smudger, and I'm just going to throw that in my crease just to add some definition, but you know, not go too crazy. This is absolutely an optional step. I like to enhance my eyes, if anything, so doing this just helps to do that. I'm going to flip that brush around to the smudger part, pick up some more of that bronzer, and just run that on my lower lash line. And then I'm just going to curl my lashes and put on mascara, and I'm sad because I don't have a drugstore lash curler. I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown one, which I recently got, and I enjoy it. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite Holy Grail mascaras from the drugstore, the Maybelline The Falsies Volume Express. My mascara is all done, and true to form, I got it outside of the lines. So I just wait for that to dry and just take a Q-tip and gently flick it off. So, or not flick it, but kind of rub it off. Don't rub very hard because that way, or then it will take off your color, your eyeshadow, or your highlighter, whatever we used. So I always get mascara. I don't know, I'm just so bad at mascara. But the trick, if you haven't heard it, is just to wait till it dries and just lightly and gently rub it off. To finish the look is lips. Now basically you can do whatever you're most comfortable with lips. Throw on some chapstick, some lip balm, some gloss, and go out the door and be good. But I like, if I have a few extra minutes, I will do lip liner because I just love sculpting my lips and making them appear just a little bit fuller. I'm going to be using this e.l.f. lip liner that comes with a blending brush on the one end. And this is in the shade Natural, and this is from my friend Ashley from Texas Mommy of Boys. This is one of her favorite liners. You want something that is kind of natural, somewhat similar to your natural lip color, because you're not going to have a whole lot of time to be fussy with it or to check it. You can rock a bold lip, absolutely, but it's just more maintenance, and if you're going back to school or back to work or something like that, you might not be able to check it as often as you want to. So that's why I'm going with more nude or natural type colors for the lips. Plus when it wears off, it will wear off and look a lot better. You know, because it will look more natural as it fades. That is such a beautiful peachy nude color. I'm going to go in next because I do want it to be a little bit more pink because my natural lips are more pink. and this one is a longer wear. It's not like the most longest. It's not the longest wearing lip product ever, but it's pretty long wear. It's the NYX Simply Pink lip cream, and then I'm using the shade First Base. So scandalous for school. And these are really easy to just throw in your purse or your school bag or whatever and touch up, and you don't really need a mirror because it's not super dark of a color, you know? So anything that's like convenient in a crayon type formula or packaging is good. And last, I'm going to set everything in place with my NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray. I really enjoy. Alright guys, so that finishes up the look. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful, and hopefully you picked up some tips and tricks, and just to make it all easier in the morning, whether you're going back to school, work, or whatnot, or yeah, school or work, or wherever you're going and you need the bare minimum to look presentable, pretty, and polished. I would love to know what other videos you guys would like to see, so leave any video requests below. Thank you as always for watching. Have a great day or night, and I'll see you later. Bye!